Good afternoon. My name is Morris Pasqual. I'm the acting United States Attorney in the Northern District of Illinois. The jury has spoken in this case. Michael Madigan, who stood at the very top of Illinois state government, stands convicted of 10 counts of bribery and corruption. Corruption far-reaching in scope, spanning a period of over 8 years. This is a historic conviction, which ranks high in the annals of criminal cases tried. With me today is the leadership of the Chicago office of the FBI, together with the special agent in charge of IRS criminal investigation. Also with me are many of the assistant United States attorneys who participated in this investigation, including the 4 AUSAs who tried the case: Sarah Stryker, Diane MacArthur, Julia Schwartz, and the chief of our public corruption and organized crime section, Amr Bachu. Also here, among others, are 2 other AUSAs who provided valuable assistance in this investigation: Jennifer Aaron Semashaw, together with Jay Perry, a valued paralegal and member of this team. I'd like to begin first by thanking the members of the community who answered the call to jury duty and served conscientiously during the course of this lengthy trial. The citizens of Illinois have a right to honest, clean government. They have a right to have the decisions of their elected officials made based on what is good for the public, what is in the common good. They have a right to trust and expect that from their public officials. Michael Madigan breached and violated that trust over and over again. He abused in the public office of Alderman Solis for Madigan's own personal benefit. Madigan exploited his public position, seeking and accepting bribes from ComEd in a scheme involving $1.3 million in no-show work in order to put money in the pockets of Madigan's political allies, thereby strengthening Madigan's own personal political might. He also schemed to bestow a state board position on Alderman Solis, understanding that in return, Alderman Solis would steer developers to Madigan's private law firm, lining Madigan's own pockets. Bribery, whether it's the old-fashioned cash stuffed in an envelope or the more refined version practiced by Madigan, is still illegal, it's still corrupt, and it's still against the law, and it still undermines public confidence in government. Public officials who choose to violate the public trust can and should be held accountable. And the United States Attorney's Office, together with our federal partners, are committed to pursuing those types of investigations. I'd like to thank the AUSAs, the federal law enforcement agents, and the support staff who worked on this investigation. Their work was tireless. Their work ethic and commitment typifies what the public gets every day out of the whole of the federal law enforcement community. And I am proud to stand behind each and every member of that community. So before I take any questions, I'm going to introduce FBI Special Agent in Charge, Doug DePodesta.
Thank you, Sonny. Good afternoon. My name is Doug DePodesta. I'm the Special Agent in Charge of the FBI office here in Chicago, Illinois. Today's verdict reaffirms that public corruption has no place in our state and certainly no place in a true democracy. Public corruption undermines the strength of our government and erodes the public's faith in our institutions. That strength of government and the public's faith are cornerstones in this country, and should be pillars for which we stand. The FBI, our federal and state and local law enforcement partners, along with our prosecutors, are committed to rooting out injustice, to recognize the FBI agents, intelligence analysts, forensic accountants, and professional staff who have worked tirelessly investigating this case. They each remain nonpartisan, diligent, and focused on following the facts wherever they may lead. And we as an organization continue to conduct investigations by doing the right thing the right way each time. I would like to also acknowledge the dedicated United States attorneys in this case, and obviously the IRS as well. The FBI will remain vigilant and continue to ensure the public receives the fair and honest government to which they are entitled. Thank you.
His actions were not just unethical, they were illegal. By engaging in bribery and corruption, he betrayed the very people he was elected to serve, eroding trust in government and undermining the institutions. Public corruption is not a crime, not just a crime, it is a direct attack on democracy. When officials abuse their authority, they steal opportunities, they steal fairness, and they steal the confidence that citizens bestow upon their leaders. This conviction sends a clear message, and no one is above the law. IRS Criminal Investigations remains committed to protecting the integrity of our financial systems, following the money, and ensuring that those who betray public trust are held accountable. This case is a victory for justice, accountability. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take some questions.
Will you be seeking a retrial in some of these counts of the verdict that the jury did not reach a verdict?
No decision has been made on that. We will obviously closely discuss it with the team, and at the appropriate time we'll make a decision about whether to seek a retrial.
Do you still consider this a win, even though the biggest charge, the racketeering, there was no verdict and McLean walked out free?
Well, there were guilty verdicts, separate corruption counts. The statutory max on those ranges anywhere from 5 to 10 to 20 years. Mr. Madigan, again, he was at the top of Illinois state government. So to say that he stands convicted of 10 felony corruption counts is significant.
What did the verdict say about the worth of Danny Solis's government witness?
Well, Mr. Solis provided testimony in the state board aspect of the case in which the jury returned guilty verdicts, so that's that. As you know, he also provided cooperation in another matter as well. With respect to the counts on which no verdict was reached, we don't know what the jury split was there. We don't know what was in the jury mind, how strong or not so strong they found that evidence. But we believe overall he provided significant cooperation, which contributed in a significant manner to the verdict in this case.
Is the Madigan investigation closed now?
Well, we like to say that we're never closed for business. And so during any investigation, if we come across other leads or tentacles that we feel ought to be investigated, we're always open for business and looking to go down those paths.
When you're Madigan as the top of the political machine in Chicago, what message does this verdict send to any other politician that might want to try similar?
Well, like I said, the bribery here and corruption here was refined, not the old-fashioned way. And what this means is that the federal government, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and the federal agencies are committing to use any and all lawful tools in our disposal to ferret out and root out corruption, no matter how refined it appears on its surface. And we're committed to doing that going forward.
When your team got word that Madigan was going to testify, how much did that fuel Mr. Bacci's competitive fire, and how much did his testimony open things up for your team?
Well, it's hard to say. Obviously, in preparing for trial, we were prepared for each and every contingency, including the contingency that the defendant would get up on the witness stand and testify. We feel like the cross-examination of the defendant was effective, and I'll leave it at that.
What is the sticking point for jury instruction was, the fact that the Snyder opinion, redefined the Section 666, but didn't ever define the word corruption. Would you like to see the U.S. Supreme Court define the word corruption?
I'm not going to get into that. It's hard to exactly decipher the thrust of what the jury was getting at with that note. That is a complicated legal issue, and it's also one which is still the subject matter of litigation in other cases. So I'm going to steer clear of that.
If this case goes to sentencing and you guys determine that Mr. Madigan lied on the witness stand, could you use that to try to enhance any sentence he got?
Well, he would be subject to a 2-point enhancement if a judge were to find that he intentionally provided false material testimony at trial. So yes, we would pursue that, and we would make our decision on sentencing after reviewing all the facts, after reviewing the pre-sentence investigation report. If we came to the conclusion that he knowingly provided false testimony at trial, we would pursue that adjustment.
This question's been asked of you and your predecessors many times before when there's been convictions in corruption cases, and yet it doesn't seem like politicians are getting the message. Do you hope that they might get the message here, or?
Yeah, I know. I always get that question, and I always think to myself, is there ever really a quantifiable way of figuring out crime that is deterred, crime that is not committed, crime that we never hear about? So I just put that out there as number one. All I can say is enormous resources and enormous time went into investigating and prosecuting what was really, in many ways, a very sophisticated form of bribery. And I hope that the message comes out that people, if they're tempted to start down that path, again, whether it's the old-fashioned bribery or something more refined in practice, will look at this as a sign that the federal government is out there, and we're actively looking for leads, and we're committed to pursuing any sort of public corruption lead that comes our way.
Just a couple more questions.
Do you have any comment on the AT&T piece of this case, given that a second jury has now failed to reach a verdict on that?
Well, again, the jury failed to reach a verdict, but that's all we know. We don't know, how, we don't know a jury split, so that's really a matter of speculation about how strong or not so strong a majority of the jurors felt that piece was.
Stand by it.
We stand by it, and as you know, we're going to be retrying the AT&T case. Yes.
I don't doubt your sincerity to want to continue to investigate corruption, and that's not a controversial statement in a normal circumstance, but we're not in a bubble here. Given the attacks on DOJ, FBI, including agents, prosecutors, even judges in buildings like this, how confident are you that you're going to continue to be able to do cases like this as you've done for decades in the current environment?
Well, as long as I'm standing here as acting U.S. attorney, I'm very confident we're going to pursue those, and I trust that my successor will be of a like mind. As you know, this district has a long-standing and a historic tradition of public corruption cases going way back to Otto Kerner and before that. And our public corruption assistants here, together with the agents, are committed to these investigations. We've not been told by anybody not to pursue these investigations, and we fully expect to continue to do so.
What steps are you taking to safeguard, protect your investigators or FBI agents who the Trump administration has indicated they want to get rid of for participating in the
All right, I'm gonna have to no comment that. That's outside. That would be outside my province to comment on that.
For those who missed the first part of the briefing, can you repeat your first name?
My name is Morris, Morris, and last name is Pasqual.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.